What's up, guys? I'm your host, as always, Grace Ramirez, and you are watching Soul. Today we're going to be talking to local artist Valerie Virgin. Valerie is a hip-hop dancer, instructor, and choreographer. Want to get to know her more? Tune in as we ask her some questions and tap into her artistry.
What's up? My name is Val and I'm a dancer. I first started dancing when I was 3 years old, but I stopped almost immediately because at practices I would just go in the mirror and make silly faces and I would never pay attention. So my parents decided it was not for me. Luckily, when I was 5 years old, they gave me another chance, and that's when I actually started to like it a little bit. And when I was 7, that's when I fell completely in love with dance, and I started spending all my after school hours going to dance, and I started competing in it, and I took it a lot more seriously from then on. My favorite style of dance would for sure have to be hip-hop. When I was growing up, I definitely had a deep love for contemporary and lyrical, but about 6 years ago, I fell in love with hip-hop and all things hip-hop. So I've been focusing all of my training for the last 6 years on hip-hop, and I do teach in that style as well. But a lot of the styles I did learn growing up, I do try and incorporate the movement that I learned from there. So like what I learned in contemporary and lyrical, I try to be inspired by those movements that I learned and incorporate into my choreography. So if you look at my choreography, you can kind of see some movements that I've used from choreographers or that were inspired by choreographers that I learned from growing up in contemporary and lyrical. It's really hard to narrow it down to just one feeling that I get when I dance. When I dance, I feel so free and at peace with myself. In life, there are so many feelings that I get, good and bad, and there are times where I just don't know how to express what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking with words. And thanks to dance, I'm able to use my movement to express what I'm feeling on the inside. And through dance, I feel vulnerable. I feel like all those feelings, everything that I am, I'm able to let it rise up to the surface. And through my movement, I can release those emotions and release those feelings and transform them into feelings of peace and feelings of clarity and feelings of love and acceptance. And because of dance, I feel like I can be at peace with myself and be at peace with everything that I am. I am currently instructing kids classes at DDPAC, or Dance Dimensions Performing Arts Center, located in Grand Terrace. I teach there on Mondays and Tuesdays to the ages of about 5 to 18, and the classes vary from beginner classes, intermediate, and advanced classes. If you are interested in signing up for classes or signing your kid up for classes, you can go ahead and look up Dance Dimensions PAC on Instagram, and you can go ahead and contact them through there, or email. You can find their email on their page as well, and you can also take a look at their online Zoom class schedule for June. Right now, we are only doing online classes due to the whole COVID situation. We want to make sure that we are keeping everybody safe and healthy, and so we are keeping them online classes until further notice. We will be updating on our social medias when that will be happening in the next couple months, so keep an eye out for that. I do plan on doing more classes on Instagram Live, but I had so much positive feedback from my first class that I do want to do it again. I plan on doing it at least one more time. There were so many people who've never taken a dance class or they've had very little dance experience, and they were in my class, and I love seeing that. It's so amazing to see people get out of their comfort zone, especially right now when we're all home. Now's the time to really step out of your comfort zone, especially since there's no one around. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. So I always tell people the hardest step is just taking that first step to push yourself to try the dance moves, because it is very out of our comfort zone, not something that most of us are used to. So I do encourage you, if I do have a class, to come take my class, and it's free, so come dance with me. I feel like dance is a very important part of self-expression. Dance helps so many people express themselves in ways that words never could. There's just some things that we don't know how to say with words, that dance is the only way that we can tell that story, or dance is the only way that we know how to get our point across and speak what's coming from our mind and our heart. And it's really beautiful to see the friendship that dancers can create, because we're going in a space together where we both can be vulnerable and experience that feeling together. So it's a really beautiful feeling to be able to communicate with people that way. So it is a way of expressing, it is a way of communicating between two people, between a group of people. And people can also use dance and so, as a form of self-expression, to just release any kind of tension and anger and stress that they may have. People might not feel like they tell stories with their movement, but they might feel happy because of their movement. They use it as a form of therapy to feel okay, to feel happy and feel at peace within themselves. So I definitely feel that dance is a very big part of self-expression. The next steps that I will be taking as a dancer are kind of split into two different paths, but the same way. So I will be focusing a lot on my job in the next few years. I was lucky enough to be offered a job by the San Bernardino School District, and where I'm starting this program in elementary schools where we are trying to make dance, hip-hop dance, a normal part of every child's learning curriculum. So the way that works is, right now I'm currently at 2 elementary schools, and I teach there every day of the week, and I teach every single kid once a week a lesson of hip-hop dance, and then at the end they have their recital and they perform and all that stuff. So it's pretty awesome, and I've seen so much change already happening in these kids, and I've seen just how positive dance has affected them and affected their lives, and by things their teachers have told me, by things their parents have told me, and by things kids themselves have told me. Dance has really touched so many lives, and it's so beautiful. So I'm definitely spending the next few years expanding on that program, so that it's not just 2 schools that have this, that it's every single school in San Bernardino School District that has this. And I do hope that all districts begin to start doing this, because it is a really important part of learning and a really important part of self-expression that should be offered at least to kids, so that they can get a little taste of it to see if they want to further their experience with dance growing up. But besides that, I will also be working on my personal training with dance, and that goes with taking classes, taking workshops, and staying on the teams that I'm currently on right now. And I also will be practicing my choreography also. Choreography is so tricky because I'm trying to figure out my personal movement, and it comes with a lot of trial and error, and I'm still learning with what works with my body and what doesn't, and what feels and looks good and what doesn't. So it is a learning process, and I will be working on that a lot throughout the year. That is what I ultimately want to do, is just share this passion that I have for dance with others and give other people this feeling that I have with my movement, and hopefully have them feel the same way, either by watching my movement or doing my movement. So I'm hoping that I will be able to do that within the next few years. That will be my plan.
So we talked movement and we talked feeling. Thanks again, Val, for letting us get to know you in just this short amount of time. Don't forget to follow her on Instagram to stay updated with dance lessons and choreography. I'm your host as always, Gracie Ramirez, and thanks for watching.